Like many people who start a YouTube channel, I do hope to grow my platform and create an additional stream of income. But that's not the only reason I'm here. I created this space to share the things I love and to connect with people who love them too. As you know, I love my plants. I'm deeply passionate about my family. I've fallen in love with crochet and the patience it's teaching me. And I'm finding joy in creativity, especially through my DIY journey. But there's another reason I'm here, a deeper one. You see, 2 years ago, I experienced a mental breakdown. I was sitting in an interview at the University of Toronto, hopeful after being laid off from my previous job, and in the middle of a simple question, my mind went blank. Right in the interview, I couldn't think, I couldn't respond. And then I started to cry right in front of the interview panel. I had to excuse myself from that interview. And you can imagine just how insulting that was. And in many ways, that moment became the beginning of something else. It became a journey to rebuilding my confidence, relearning how to love myself, believing in who I am again, and most importantly, learning to give myself grace. But to truly understand how I got here, we have to go back to my mother. I'll try to be brief as I can, okay? So my mother was born in Westmoreland, Jamaica. Her father, an Irish immigrant, known only as Kojak. He played little to no role in her life. And so my grandmother, a beautiful black woman, descended from the Maroons of Jamaica, was left to raise 4 children on her own. My mother looked different from her siblings. She was light-skinned with gray eyes and curly hair, almost white passing in a society deeply shaped by classism and colorism. Because of that, she was often seen as out of place in her community. And so as a child, she was given away to different families, more times than she can even remember. People who believed they could care for her better than her own mother could. But those homes that she went to was not safe. She endured physical and sexual abuse before eventually returning to her mother's home. As a teenager, she became pregnant with her first child, whom she lost. Soon after, she had 2 more children, but the trauma she carried followed her into motherhood. She had never been shown what love, safety, or nurturing looked like. So when her partner became abusive, she did the only thing life had taught her to do. She ran. And in running, she left her children behind. This pattern would repeat itself. By the time she became pregnant with me, she struggled even to name my father, carrying shame, fear, and the weight of a life that had never offered her stability or compassion. In the 1970s in Jamaica, being an unwed mother came with deep stigma, and being pregnant while living with another man made things even worse. See, she was living with my sister's and brother's father, but she was pregnant with another man's child. And at that time, she had nowhere to go, but she was told to leave. So leave she did. She left and relocated to Kingston before I was 1 year old, before I was even able to walk. She had already left the other children with their fathers and grandmother, but I had no one else to go to. so I went with her. We lived with my aunt in Kingston for a while, and then there my mother worked as a domestic helper. Later, she took to Iglorin, selling peanuts and cigarettes on the roadside just to send me to school and to give us something to eat. There were days we had little or no food. There were times in high school where we shared one pair of shoes. I would wear those shoes in the morning to go to school, and when I came home, she would wear them out to go sell. That was how we had life in my early life in Kingston. For years, I didn't know who my father was. Only whispers, only guesses. Name passed around in gossip when I visited my siblings in the country. My mother was stern, very strict. She believed in discipline, in obedience, and that a child should be seen and not heard. And because of that, I learned how to follow instructions without question. But one thing she never compromised on was my education. My mother made sure I went to school no matter what, sun or shine, every day unless I was deathly ill. So how does this all connect to why I'm here? Why I'm on YouTube? This space is where I'll be sharing my life story, chapter by chapter as I write my book. This is my accountability, my motivation to finish what I started, my way of inviting you, my Blooms and Stitches by Anne-Marie community, into my journey. Each week, I'll be sharing a new chapter, and I'll be honest. I will be vulnerable. I'll be talking about discovering who my father is, my experiences with abuse at a young age, being groomed, surviving domestic violence, migrating to a new country, navigating separation from a marriage, raising children as a single mother, and coming to terms with my past and present trauma, and showing you how they have shaped my life in ways I never fully understood. I won't promise you sensationalism. This is the real story of a 49-year-old woman who has been rooted in fire and now is on a journey to becoming. If that speaks with you, I invite you to stay. Join me every Tuesday for a new chapter. Join me on Blooms and Stitches with Anne-Marie. Thank you for staying for this introduction, and I'll see you next Tuesday on the next one.